6 men would be called to testify in this trial to what they had previously testified to in other trials. While we were able to find 2 of the 6 testimonies, we regret that we were not able to find all of them. The 6 men were Mortimer Forbes, Robert Blake, John E. Patrick, John Patrick, Silas McIntosh, and Albert S. Johnson. We were unable to find the testimonies given in the actual Jett-White trial in Cynthana. However, we did find them in the William Britton Trial. All aboard the Kentucky-Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger time machine to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. Calling of the witnesses. First, we have the conclusion of the testimony of Sebastian Williams. After he leaves the stand, we have the calling of the next 6 witnesses by the prosecution. According to the article in the Breathitt County News, Jackson, Kentucky, April 21, 1905. Quote, Williams' testimony was concluded on Tuesday morning, after which M. Forbes, Robert Blake, John E. Patrick, John Patrick, Silas McIntosh, and A. S. Johnson were put on the stand in order named and gave pretty much the same testimony as in the Jett-White trial at Cynthana, unquote. These 6 witnesses were the most important witnesses in the conviction of Kurt Jett and Tom White. They would testify as to what they saw from different vantage points in the town. The testimony of Mortimer Forbes. While we could not find what the witness testified to in the Cynthana trial, we could find a glimmer of what he said during the William Britton trial. As we have repeatedly stated, all of the witnesses said the same things over and over and did not deviate from their testimonies. According to the Adair County News, Columbia, Kentucky, January 25, 1905. Quote, the first witness this morning was Mortimer Forbes of Jackson, who said that he was crossing the street near the post office when the shooting commenced, and that, looking toward the courthouse, he saw 3 gun barrels protruding from the window. He said he recognized Bill Britton and Curtis Jett at the window, unquote. While Forbes could not identify the 3rd man, he claims to have clearly seen Britton and Jett at the window. This testimony would back up the statements previously given by Sebastian Williams, Riley Coldiron, and Charles Robbins. The testimony of Albert S. Johnson. Here we have the next testimony that places the 3rd gun in the hands of Elbert Hargis or Jesse Spicer. From Johnson's point of view, he could clearly see the men who accompanied Jett and Britton. Continuing on with the Adair County News article. Quote, Elbert S. Johnson, a resident of Jackson, said that he was sitting on the steps in front of the Cardwell building for some time previous to the shooting, and saw Elbert Hargis, Bill Britton, Curtis Jett, and Jesse Spicer standing in front of the Hargis store. Witness saw Britton cross the street in the direction of the courthouse and heard someone in the upper room of the Hargis store call to him. And Britton went back to the store and later came out and went to the courthouse. About this time, witness saw Jim Cockrill and Stuart Hager on the Cardwell corner. And just as the witness stepped into the Cardwell building, he heard the shooting begin. Witness did not come out till the firing ceased. When he saw Britton and Jett leave the courthouse and go into the direction of the Hargis store, unquote. Johnson's testimony is kind of interesting here. He did not claim to see who was in the courthouse window. He also did not say how many guns were sticking out of the window at the time of the shooting. However, his testimony was important to link Elbert Hargis and Jesse Spicer with Britton and Jett before the shooting. His testimony is equally as important as he was a witness to Britton being called back to the Hargis store and leaving to go to the courthouse before the shooting. He also states that Cockrill was standing at the Cardwell corner with Stuart Hager. We have testimony from other videos that Cockrill had finished speaking to Hager and left his presence that the shooting began. In next week's video, we will begin the testimony of Tom Cockrill, the brother to Town Marshal James Cockrill. His testimony will bring out the motive behind the killing of his brother. Thank you. We at Kentucky, Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our videos on the Appalachian feuds. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky, Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.